What's up, guys? It's Lonewolf here. Today I'm with none other than the legend himself, Froskkye. We're going to talk about the 5 things we want to be implemented in the game or changed about the game. We do have a means to talk about this because we did beat it. Took us 105 hours to beat this game. We did fuck around a lot and enjoy it though. So with that being said, the first thing we would like to see, or me personally, I would love it when you level up the workbench in the forge, that if the radius got bigger. That way you don't have to build multiple workbenches, multiple forges. It just gets tedious. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude, a big quality of life and change would make the radius of the forge bigger when you upgrade it. So what
Workbench.
Yeah, the workbench. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree. I mean, you can make multiple, but that's tedious and it takes up your resources.
Yeah.
Even just moving it around, deconstructing, reconstructing it. It's a chore.
It is a chore, man. And it's like, if you're in the Stone Age and you have a workbench, I get it. You need to make multiple ones. But as you get into bronze and iron and you're upgrading that forge, you should be able to expand your housing situation with the workbench being upgraded in a fashion like that. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's something me and Froskkye saw playing the game, going through the motions. And yeah, I'd love to see that happen. The second thing we want to talk about, this is a big one for me, not so much Froskkye, but personal doors and locks or fix the ward. So if you could scroll and toggle the ward to make it big or small, because right now the radius of the ward is decent, but I'm not trying to lock my friend out of his own bedroom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, if we had a personal door, that'd be really nice, because I have 2 doors in my room here, and if I knew that none of my friends could come in here and pilfer through all my stuff, not that they would, I'm just, I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
And we play with a really hardy, nice group of individuals that wouldn't do that. But for my own personal, mindset, I would love to have personal doors with locks or fix the ward. I do have the personal chests. But what is your 2 cents on that, Froskkye?
I have to agree. Like, if me and you have a good group, we're not going to steal from each other, but not everybody has that.
Yeah, and it's not like they're always stealing from you. It's like sometimes they need to take something because they don't want to go farm 20 iron and get destroyed by graybeards when they're in leather scraps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, sometimes people like to come in and borrow stuff, but personal doors and locks would be sweet. Also, another feature with the ward, like you could scroll the mouse wheel and the radius gets bigger and smaller. That way, I don't have to lock my friend out of his room. Those are just some of the big pet peeves I have. And that's kind of like my personal thing. Yeah, like personal privacy in your own home is really nice. The big one that Froskkye wanted to talk about was better beam structures to support bigger builds with friendlier, fences and builds. So I'll let you put the ball in your court for that one if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult figuring out how to build a good beam structure without everything breaking. I would also like to see different types of buildings, like building objects for different decoration, because right now we're kind of limited. Let me see what we got here. The 4-meter log pole, I don't really like how it looks. It kind of looks very out of place if I were to put it in this place, but it's a lot stronger than the 2-meter wood pole.
Yeah, and the thing about the building is the two-meter wood poles should be just as strong as a 4-meter log pole. You could argue that maybe not, because the log pole is like circular and thicker, whatever. But what I'm saying is the reason the log pole is stronger in the game is because it's 4 meters tall, and it's one less structure, so it's just stronger. That's how the game is right now. Like a 2-meter beam, 2-meter beam poles are not as strong as the 4-meter pole, just based on how many beam poles there are. So if you it's like, it's kind of a little bit of a design flaw in my opinion for the sake of architecture and, looks, but how would you remedy that?
Simply put, I would have more sizes for the different sets that we have. Like the log pole looks like it's for, a traditional log cabin. And I would have a 1-meter version of that, as well as a 4-meter version of the regular wood pole.
Yeah, like I kind of see where you're coming here. Coming from here, if we take a look at our house real quick, we definitely struggled a lot keeping this thing like you know,
Stable, yeah.
Yeah, stable, dude. And I'll show you guys the outside of this real quick. But we could not, for the longest time, get the roof to, like, just have this basic... I think this is a very basic, you know, building plan. I think this is something a lot of people do. But those top layers, they're struggling, dude. And we're not trying to use... And are you talking about even, like, maybe 4-meter long beam pulls like this on the 45-degree angle?
Yeah, the diagonal ones, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. And then, like, if we had those 4-meter beam pulls, like, we wouldn't need 2 of these middle ones, and our house would just be more... How am I trying to say this? It'd be more structurally stable is the word I'm looking for. It'd be more stable for sure. Yeah, just it would be nice to have those better builds, more variety in the builds. I'm sure they'll add that stuff. But to bring you to the the fourth point here, the problem being Froskkye had throughout the game, towards the end game anyways, not really any other time, but we were so stoked to build this blast furnace just to find out that you can only smelt 2 kinds of material in this. Like,
is it 2?
Yeah, there's the black metal, and then there's one other metal. I saw it on the wiki. But the blast furnace needs to be reimagined. I feel like you should be able to smelt iron, tin, bronze, and it should smelt it faster. Maybe not the black metal. Yeah, it shouldn't smelt the black metal faster. But these other metals, I think they should, in the blast furnace, this thing's hot, dude. This is a blast furnace. This thing should be able to smelt those other metals faster and easier.
And really, it looks, I mean, a lot nicer than these other 2.
Yeah, it's like that.
Like, I don't want to have these around.
Like you said, that steampunk gnomish look to it.
Yeah.
And I think you made a comment earlier about how it's kind of an inconvenience to have a blast furnace, because it's just another thing you have to have.
Yeah, for now it doesn't really serve much purpose, because we didn't even need to use black metal on this playthrough.
Yeah, when we beat the game on our first playthrough, black metal was... I didn't use a single piece of it. We have like, how much do we have of that stuff? We have like 180 pieces in the boat, and then like I have my own personal 70 pieces I did make.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, but I didn't use black metal at all, and it was kind of a letdown. I'm sure that they're gonna make black metal be viable whenever they release new content for the game, and I know it's gonna be sweet. But as of right now, the blast furnace it's just another piece you have to have. Actually, you don't even have to have it, right? Because we didn't even use it.
Yeah, we didn't even use it.
But it should be able to smelt the other metals faster, and it should be able to smelt the other metals, period. They should be able to smelt that stuff. For the 5th point, we want to talk about how the trader needs to be friendlier to find, with more loot to like spin your gold and whatnot on. Because right now, he's really hard to find. Like, look at this world. I still haven't found him on my world yet. We got lucky and we found him in Froskkye's world, but it's just going to be a nightmare finding this trader. And honestly, if Froskkye didn't find him on his world, I would have never gotten my fishing pole. I would have never gotten, you know, my hat, my helmet, my belt to make me carry a little bit more. But yeah, I think if he's easier to find, or maybe there's an item that will lead you to him or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Like that. I would say the only thing you need to do to remedy that is increase the distance at which his marker will show up. Because it seems like everybody's only finding him by luck.
Yeah. Or like even have it so there's like you could still have him hard to find, but maybe he only spawns within a certain distance of the rune stones that you spawn on. Maybe he spawns within like 150 meter radius. I don't know how big that is in the game, but like I'm thinking this is the rune.
Yeah, that's what you're going for.
I'm thinking this is the runestone. Maybe on my screen they could see this, but he's in like an area like this. This whole world here is crazy to find this guy. Like there has to be bounce, you know?
Yeah.
I think the tip they gave, it was like, hey dude, you could find him in one of 10 ways in a black forest. But yeah, dude, I don't like the trader, how unfriendly he is really to find. This is gonna be a bonus point for anyone that stuck around. Froskkye wants to talk a little bit about the soundtrack of the game.
Yeah, to start off with, I don't want to be misunderstood, the soundtrack is very good. Like, I really enjoy the atmospheric tunes that play as you're going places, exploring, but it seems like there's not much to listen to. Like, what do we got? 103 hours in game, and it seems like they just need more soundtrack, more songs, tracks.
Yeah. To add,
So eventually you'll just be turning it off and
playing
trying
your
to
own
find
music.
your own stuff.
Find your own music. I do want to add a little to this. I think the soundtrack is great, and the game does have for me anyways, some really Morrowind-like feel, but I didn't really equate that to anything really other than the game, but like the music really does add that extra immersive feeling in the game, and the soundtrack is 100% amazing. But yeah, like just a couple more options, it'd be nice.
It's not something I want to change or get rid of, except to say that I would like
to
there to be more of it.
Yeah, and when you do go in the caves and stuff, and the cool track, like each boss has its own unique track, like some form of Viking metal, I think is what we noticed, right? It was
Got you in there,
yeah, it was always some form of metal or something, but yeah, just spice up the music a little bit. But this has been our 5 bonus point for 6 on Froskkye's in. 5 points that we would like for, to be added to the game. And it's a great game, and I just hope the developers keep going, and we'll see what the future has in store. Thank you for watching.